All right, folks, it's been 2 weeks since GLM 5.2 came out, and I'm pretty sure all of us has experienced its awesomeness. But today, that awesomeness has taken to the next level with the launch of Z.Code. Z.AI here is shipping an entire developer ecosystem around GLM 5.2, and I'm a bit unsure about this one because I have been enjoying GLM 5.2 on Claude Code, but with the release of Z.Code, this is the more suitable harness, I would say, because it only makes more sense. It's native to GLM 5.2. We're going to talk about how we feel about this. How does the community feel about this? Because with this release, there's actually a whole new story unraveling right now. A whole new wave of inference optimizations that make models like GLM 5.2 more usable at scale. So if you're building with AI, you need to understand just how fast this landscape is shifting. All right, so what's happening here is the official launch of Z.Code. This is the dedicated development environment for GLM 5.2. It's not just a wrapper, it's a full agentic development environment with bring your own key support, meaning you can bring your own API keys and existing subscriptions, and it's cross-platform on macOS, Windows, and Linux. So it doesn't have to be a GLM coding plan. It can be another Chinese model. So Z.Code, this IDE, is optimized specifically for GLM workflows and long-running autonomous tasks, and that matters a lot, especially with GLM 5.2 having 1 million context window. You need an environment that can actually keep track of goals, files, terminal results, and git state across a long horizon task. And Z.Code is designed to do exactly that. So even if you're bringing your own key from other models, Z.Code is designed for really long tasks. Like expect 30 minutes or an hour from your task completions. So if you've subscribed to the GLM coding plans, Z.Code also offers roughly 1.5x usage quota. Peak hours drop from 3x to 2x, and off-peak goes from 1x to 0.67x. So if you're already paying for GLM access, you get more effective throughput inside Z.Code. And I think for this reason alone, mid-filming this, I realized, hey, maybe for the cost factor alone, Z.Code might make more sense than using it on Claude Code. LangChain also published official guides for integrating GLM 5.2 into coding flows. That's significant because LangChain is one of the most widely used orchestration frameworks. When they officially support a model, it becomes easier for developers to slot GLM 5.2 into existing agent architectures. And they explicitly called out developers turning to GLM 5.2 as a daily driver. So this is a signal we're seeing that open models are hitting a threshold where developers are willing to switch their primary coding workflow away from the closed frontier APIs. And we have even more updates for the benchmarks of GLM 5.2. It's reported as the first open model to lead a category on APEX-SWE, specifically 55.3% pass at 1 on integration. And on the overall leaderboard, it scored 37.3% pass at 1, ranking 6th place. And that makes it the best open source model they've tested on APEX-SWE overall. Kimi 2.7 as well followed pretty closely at that. So I'm really happy to see both of my mains here on the leaderboard. In other news, VLLM just landed native dSpark speculative decoding support for DeepSeek models, and they reported around 250 tokens per second on 8xB300 with improved acceptance rates over MTP. So if you're running DeepSeek models in production, this is a massive throughput win. And you compare that to GLM 5.2 dSpark preview, it's claiming roughly 1.5x faster decode. So dSpark is already being ported beyond DeepSeek to other major open models like GLM 5.2. So dSpark was a big topic from DeepSeek, and it appears that it's not just closed within the DeepSeek ecosystem, but also can be pluggable here in the GLM 5.2 model. And lastly, there's a report that an in-house dFlash drafter on Qwen 3 32B yielding roughly 50% higher throughput on the same hardware. So this is a diffusion-based draft model approach, which is different from dSpark, but targeting the same goal, which is making inference faster without retraining the target model. So what we're seeing here, the pattern that's being played out for a lot of these open models is the speculative decoding and draft model optimization is spreading across the entire open model ecosystem. So DeepSeek, GLM, Qwen, everyone is getting faster, and everyone can, work together to level up a lot faster, right? So let's tie all this story together. 3 distinct stories, one very clear trend here. Chinese labs like Z.AI are building full product ecosystems around their models, not just weights, and ZCode is the clearest example. This is the IDE, quota system, cross-platform agent environment, all built specifically for GLM 5.2, but not limited to GLM 5.2. And secondly, open models are hitting a credibility threshold where major frameworks like LangChain and developers like Harrison Chase are treating them as daily driver options. So the APEX-SWE benchmarks back this up for specific software engineering tasks. And thirdly, the open source inference community is responding with speculative decoding tools like dSpark, dFlash, and others that make these models faster and cheaper to run. So the moat, what we're seeing here, the moat is shifting from who has the best model to who has the fastest, most integrated stack. And for developers and builders, this means 2 things, right? 1, you have more viable open options than ever for production coding workflows. And 2, if you're running your own infrastructure, the inference optimization story is just as important as the model quality story, because a 1.5x or a 2x speed improvement changes your unit economics quite drastically. So all in all, the open model ecosystem is no longer just a model release cycle where they put it on Hugging Face and call it a day. It's a platform war now, and it's happening right now. So if you're using GLM 5.2 or ZCode in your workflow, drop a comment. I want to know if the 1 million context and agentic environment are actually delivering in practice. And if you're running speculative decoding, tell me what hardware and what speedups you're seeing. So we're going to be testing GLM 5.2 in ZCode rather than Claude Code. We'll do a video about that and keep you guys posted on what we think on this whole new IDE. So if you find this video helpful, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. My name is Ron. Shana now.